Hello, race fans, and welcome to virtual Sao Paulo, Brazil, and the famous Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, where right now over 40 drivers of the Sunday Night Skippy Racing League are preparing for Week 2 action as they hope to write their names into the Sunday Night Skippy history books. A new week, a new track, it's anyone's race at this exact moment. As always, we are streaming tonight's race over the YouTube and Twitch channels for Cavok Racing Network in partnership with Barefoot Racing. Just search for Cavok Racing, that's C-A-V-O-K, on whichever service you prefer. Also, feel free to join in on the chats. The comments on either channel will be monitoring and get to them as time permits. Whew. And finally, joining us once again in the car is Ian. Welcome back to not only the broadcast, but the racetrack. How you doing tonight?
I am not doing too badly. I'm having some frustration at trying to figure out how to drive again after having not done it for so long, or it feels like I haven't done it for so long. But yeah, it's fun to be back in the driver's seat, as it were. You know, and what a historic track to have the opportunity to be back in the driver's seat at. Must admit, this has been an exercise in frustration for me, but I'm really looking forward to tonight's race.
I'm very much looking forward to this. I know we were saying the same thing about Lime Rock Park. This is almost the exact opposite in some ways. It's a Formula One track. It's very large, very wide, very long. Plenty of opportunities to draft, but also a couple corners here and there too, where maybe you can attempt to make up. So yeah, so I think you can probably fit about 7 skippies wide, especially on that front stretch there that we're looking at. So I'm curious to see how that works out with people.
I'm horrified. I'm horrified, mate.
Jockeying for position. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But that being said, I am also not racing tonight, to your point. So all good though. You'll just I guess try to avoid the shenanigans in the front or the start and go from there. And yeah. Well, hey, let me know. It looks like you're kind of approaching the start finish line here. Would you like to take us through a lap and
Sure,
Interlagos?
Absolutely. So coming up towards the start finish line, you see that weird Mayan-looking radio tower there. You'll see everybody kind of hugging the inside here to keep the shortest line possible as they cross the start-finish line, which is here. And we're looking on the right-hand side for the 50 board. We'll be braking sort of between the 50 board and that grass strip there, and then letting the car roll through this beginning of the chicane, and then powering out through the bottom of it. And people will be doing this a lot better than I am because I am very, very rusty. But as we come along onto this sort of back straight, there'll be a lot of drafting going on here. Watch for, that's where the pit actually comes out right there on the left. Looking for the 50 marker board on the right-hand side here. Braking down into third, I guess. As we then accelerate now all the way back up into fourth as we come around into the twisty bit. And you'll see in a minute why I call this the twisty bit. I feel more like a rally driver than an open wheel racer when I'm coming through here. Car's sliding, you're trying to hold it tight, and it comes up to this lovely corner here, and you just pitch the car into the corner, accelerating out, all in first gear, and then let the car rotate, accelerating again, let it drift wide, get this rumble strip over on the outside, up for another big right-hand corner, just drag the car over, letting it drift out. And then we're coming down this little bit. It's a bit downhill here before we start the uphill back into the start-finish straight. But you'll see everybody running really wide. And a bit of a blind crest here. Oh, he's getting him away a little bit there. Who's that? I don't even know who that is right now. And then again, there'll be a lot of drafting coming up through here where people will be getting right up behind the other person and just holding it in to their draft, trying to see if they can pick up a pass as they go over the start-finish line and back up into that hairpin right-hander. And here's the pit entrance, so the pit goes in there, and you'll see folks diving for that pit. By the way, that lap was a very unspectacular 154. the front runners are going to be doing, I would imagine, 151s. I have been able to get a 152 out of this myself, which I was very pleased with. But again, I'm about a second slower than the guys at front. So the pit exit comes out here. You'll see this blue cone over there on the left, and that's where they'll be joining back after they refuel. Yeah, so it's a fun little track. And if you look in the distance, you can see all of Sao Paulo, all the buildings up there, and all the different architecture. It's a really pretty area to have a track. Interlagos is its friendly name, rather than Autodromo San Carlos Pace or Passe, or I'm not butchering the language of the Spanish there, but it is also known as Interlagos, between two lakes, and you can sort of see one in the distance over there where those pointy things are. I don't know what they are, but that's one lake. And if you stop here for a second, you can see how much terrain difference there is between the bottom of the track where I am now and that massive hill over there, which is where the start-finish straight is, all up in there. So there's a lot of change in altitude. Well, not altitude, but in elevation. Let me get the words right here. In elevation for this race. So even here I'm going downhill, and there's that lake over there in the distance. And then you see that we'll actually come around this corner. You can see people going very wide here. All this track you can use, and then they should be trying to just climb over the curb. Not maybe quite as much as that, but right there. But then all this part is uphill as we climb all the way back up that sort of cliffside. You could see where we were looking at was this part here, and this isn't even the top of the track. We actually go uphill from here. So even now we are heading uphill. So yeah, an interesting track, a historic track, and I think one that's going to be an awful lot of fun to race on.
And I was just thinking about, I don't know what we actually ended up on, but I know there was some talk among the stewards. We talked last week about how penalties and whatnot are assessed, and talked about different categories. Well, one thing we didn't talk about, because it wasn't really an issue, was the track limits and taking advantage of them. And kind of what we mean by that is, for those of you who are not familiar with any sort of racing really, you can go off the track surface by a certain amount, depending in this case how much iRacing has determined is appropriate.
I can be all the way over here and still be considered to be on the track.
Sure. And there's a couple places that I think the stewards were maybe just a little bit worried about, with people taking potential advantage of that in order to either advance their position or not lose position otherwise. So that's
one of those places is going to be here, right? All of this is drivable. You're not going to lose any time running on it. You will get an off track from iRacing. However, some people will say it's worth getting the off track to be able to carry more speed around that corner and overtake someone coming up here, for example, because the inside line on this corner would be quite important. I mean, the normal line, you're outside here before you turn in and then drop a gear. If you're on the inside line, of course, you've got the advantage, because you've got, first of all, a shorter distance to drive, but the person on the outside can't get in. And then, of course, when you get to this corner, you're again on the inside. So you'll be able to get the overlap, which will give you an advantage. And that's all from taking that off track, way back over there. So it's an important thing.
That's basically the point, right? Is you can trade. There's a limit to how many incident points you can get per the race. So it's basically a bank of incident points that you have that you can choose to spend. And we're the stewards of Sunday Night Skippy Racing are trying to avoid that sort of I don't want to call it gaming of the system, because it's fair play, but that it's kind of not the intent, I would say. So so we'll see how that's handled. But yeah, there's a definite advantage to burning a 1x here and there, to gain a spot or two, and that's just not how those stewards want the race to go. We want some good clean racing, and kind of separated a little bit from the public races that you see on the service. So something to look for as we watch the race. And it looks like we are headed over to the open Oh wait, are we doing open qualifying? Or are we doing no lone qualifying? I apologize. We're doing lone qualifying today. Closed qualifying, so each driver will have their own track to themselves. We'll be able to see everybody at our will. But as we see Ian there pulling out for his qualifying session.
Yeah.
But
But you can
we'll
see
give
here that how long the pit exit is, though. Oh, I'm still on pit exit. I can't cross the white line to my right. I've got to get to this blue cam before I'm actually out of the pits.
quite a ways for sure. Well, we'll give some other people some love here. Here's Rich Butler from Team Moving Chicane. Actually, that reminds me, not to come off of
About
Rich
10:30,
Butler there.
11.
I think we've got a updated teams though here that I just snipped from the Dan Lisa website, so I will pull that up so people can look. I believe that all the changes that we were talking about last week that had not been made are now updated, so you can get a sense of who is on which team. And actually, now that I'm doing that, let's make that just a little bit bigger for everybody. Whoa, look at that. I can do that live because I'm special. There you go. We'll leave that up for just a little bit so people can get a sense of what's happening here. As the drivers go out, just note that they're going to have... along here. Where's my session state? There we go. 15 minutes to set down, however, hot lap. So the first lap, 2, 3, even 4, will just be getting the tires warm. So that's why we're not super concerned with it right now. While we're waiting for them to start putting down some hot laps here, let's do another reminder. And I apologize. So I know based on the quality of this broadcast, it's hard to believe I have a day job, but I do. And it was kind of kicking my butt. So we did not get a chance to really dive into the charities that are going to be represented at the Winter Challenge so far, as drivers start to pick which charities they're going to be driving for and cheering for and representing during the challenge. The first race will be the 10th of October at 9 p.m. That's the 10th of October at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be our Très Petit Le Mans, and that's going to be the GT3 cars. It's at Road Atlanta, and we're very excited for it. What I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about this too. Is Adam Wright laid down the gauntlet for me. His name has been incorrect on the overlays that I've been using so far, much to his and my chagrin. And I just want to pull this up here real quick. Oh, gonna be able to do that. Let's see if I get rid of the qualifying stuff here. There we go. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Wright's name showing up appropriately. So we're keeping the Winter Challenge logo up there because Adam Wright has committed to, quote, making the prize pool, the donations that Jack Moffitt has already started, $100 to each race winner to the charity of their choice. He has committed to making that, quote, a little more spicy. So I'm
What does that even mean?
I'm looking forward to seeing what that means, but I think Adam's getting in the giving spirit, as I'm hoping that some other people, will start doing. We will start listing and advertising for the charities, not advertising, but kind of bringing some light to the charities that people are racing for. And if you want to kind of encourage your driver or kind of add to the intrigue of the race, just reach out. We'd be happy to have you add to the prize pool, which I imagine the Smorl family will be doing here shortly as well. And so yeah, this is let's get in the spirit here as we go into the winter seasons and see what we can do for those less fortunate than ourselves. So I just give that challenge out to everybody, and certainly reach out either on the Discord or through the YouTube, and we can tell you how you can be a part of the Sunday Night Skippy Winter Challenge. Awesome. Well, there's Adam. Let's bring up, as the drivers are going to be setting down their hot times here, we can pull up the timing tower with everybody's current, well, it's the current grid, so everybody's best times. Of course, are indicated in green. Darwin Romero currently has the track, or the evening's best time at 1:52.886, currently sitting on the pole. And we've already got some win predictions coming in. Mark's got JR Hoops for the win tonight. I mean, I can't argue with it. Looks like Ishmael Martinez is going for Sammy Bridges and Adam Wright. Of course, we just featured Adam Wright pretty heavily there. Let's look at, let's see if I can't find Sammy real quick. I'm sorry, folks. There's like 45 drivers right now. It's hard to find. It's hard to find everybody, and they're all moving around. Oh boy. Well, at any rate, here's JR Hoops rocking that slick green paint scheme, which I'm assuming that Mark was able to do for him. Looking real good. See if we can't get a closer shot of that. Very nice. Here we go. There's Sammy Bridges. To a few of the drivers that have already talked about which charities they're going to be supporting or racing for, Jake Ashe and Jason Weiss, the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We've got Scott Dorkins, who will be racing for the Staffy Rescue during the Winter Challenge. Carrington Wilmer, he's got the Best Buddies. Ian, you yourself, actually, since we have you here, I was just trying to list them off, but shoot, let's talk about the Fair Oaks Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company.
Oh, okay. So I'll be running to try and raise some cash for these guys. I actually work with them as a medic, and we raise, with the money we raise is used to help fund our ambulances and fire engines that we use in the community. We've been around for, hang on, quite a few years, and we run the entire organization from donations from kind folks like you all out there, which again we use. We're a registered charity, and yeah, that's what it's all about. And you can actually go to our website, and I can't remember what the hell it is right now, but you can go there.
Well, we'll do a much better job next time. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit more time, and we'll maybe pick off some people and start posting these, names and websites. So if anybody feels moved by any of these particular causes, they can check it out for themselves. But yeah, I think that's great, and what you do is fantastic, and I think it's awesome if we could maybe give a little back to folks who give so much. So. Alright, well, I will drop the Winter Challenge stuff for now. We do have a race coming up. There's 5 minutes left in the open qualifying here. We've got James Hauser currently sitting in second. Edwin has set the pole at the moment and pretty comfortable, so he is out of the car, going to take a comfort break. Here's Hauser seeing if he can't maybe try to get on the pole with one last lap or two. Sitting in third right now, Chris Herrera. Jason Bice setting another hot time. Looks like he's done for the evening, satisfied with currently a P4. Jonathan Dance in qualified 5th so far. Darren Romero has fallen to 6th from sitting on the pole earlier. Walter Collada in 7th from the 00 there. Pete Mo Broughton sitting in 8th. Ruben Ray in 9th out of the car as well. Jonathan Dockery coming up with a big 10th place grid position at the moment as he gets knocked out by Peter Nodwell, now sitting 9th.
Is it not?
What was that? Lost him. All right, well, looks like Pete and Mike Bowers setting some pretty dang good times there, as well as things start to shake out just a little bit, and we start to set the scene for the grid with just 4 minutes remaining. Just a couple drivers out there still setting times. You can see the shuffle happening there on the timing tower. And we do currently have 43 drivers who have set down a time 40.
Sorry, Chris, my headset just crashed.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It happens. Is that your VR headset overall?
Yeah, my VR headset just went just rebooted itself completely. So I'm fighting with that again. So you never know, I might be joining you full time on the broadcast because
well,
I'm going to try and reboot it and see what happens. So I'll be back in a sec.
All right, sounds good. Well, while we await Ian's fate, we'll take a look here. So I was just counting. We've got 44 drivers now who have set a time, 46 total. And so we'll see. It looks like we've got 44 drivers at the moment. That's a lot of skippies, folks, to be going down there into turn 1, turn 2 complex, the SNS, if you will. And actually, we'll bring the. Well, no, actually, we're good. Looks like we've got just 3 minutes remaining. A couple other cars that may still be out there. Looks like Walter Collada is still doing his best to maybe set down one more hot lap and improve his starting position with Snail Racing. It's about halfway through the track there. Chris Herrera is still out on track. Pete Mobron as well. Lyndall McMurphy, Thomas Photos, and Andrew Cole. So looks like most of the field is kind of satisfied with where they're at, and they are just happy to be on the grid. Take a look here. Chris Herrera, though, leave it to Chris. Not happy, but not satisfied with starting behind the leader. So he's going to do his best to get back up there. See if he can't beat Edwin and or James. Super beneficial to be ahead of everybody going into those first few turns, I'm sure. Got Andrew Cole back here in the P28, still cutting down some hot laps as we tick down to 1 minute remaining. And
hello, Chris. Am I back?
Yes. Oh yeah, we got you loud and clear, buddy.
All right. Well, let's see if we stay there.
Just want to wish you good luck. We're all counting on you.
Well, it's rebooting and I'm relogging into the race, so we'll see how this goes. If this doesn't work, I will throw this away and join you in the broadcast booth.
Awesome. Well, I selfishly, I'm happy with either one, but I hope you get to race. I hope you get to race. We'll look back here. Thomas Photos, Kaizen Racing, still putting down some laps here. P21 currently, or I'm sorry, not P21. I guess still P21. 21st on the grid at the moment. He's coming up on about halfway through the track, as Ian would call the twisty bits. Up the hill. Get a real sense for the elevation changes.
It's a big hill.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a real good camera angle right there, showing it off. Oh, I guess that was it. He had not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to grid the field. Congratulations to Edwin Villarino on the bonus points. He wins the pole with a 151.756 for Toxic Racing. James Hauser and Chris Herrera, Darwin Romero, Pete Mobron, Mike Bowers, Jason Bice, Jonathan Dance, Walter Collada, and Peter Nodwell will round out your top 10. And we will scroll through the rest for you here.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Okay, we're gonna mute that for just a second. Sorry about that, folks. We are. Yeah. All right. Well, here you go. Here's the rest of the grid. Really looking forward to this race tonight. As you can see, there's a lot more of a time difference. It's obviously twice the size, almost double the lap times of Lime Rock Park from week 1. So there's a lot more room for gaps, and I'm curious to see how that all kind of works out for the field, to be honest with you. So it looks like we've got 46 cars, although I do feel like that's over the technical limit, but we'll let the admins deal with that as they will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go. There is your grid. You can see they're already they got the skippies backed up past that last turn. This is quite
I don't know if this is going to work.
and we are ready to go. Getting ready to race.
Dang it.
And they're off. Here they come down into turn 1. The SNS complex. Edwin leads the field. James Hauser right behind him. Looks like they're keeping it somewhat clean. Jonathan Dockery looks like he's off. Let's see if we can't get clarification on that in a little bit, though. Edwin definitely making his way past James Hauser at the moment, but we got team running on empty 2 and 3 at the moment, and they are ready to run together. So not quite the craziness that we expected going into turn 1. It looks like everybody kept it quite calm and cool and collected, and things relatively good, although we do have some folks already looking like they crashed and or in the pits. We'll keep trying Ian back. It looks like he's still having some technical difficulties. Alright, well that was actually not too bad of a start there. Oh, we do have somebody off track. Is that Jason Bice? Lyndall McMurphy is off track. You can see him there on the left. Just a whole mess of Skip Barber Formula 2000s making their way through lap 1. That's the final turn complex as they head their way back up the hill toward the start finish line. Oh, somebody else is around. That's Jake Ashe. Oh, people are getting into each other, not checking up. Looks like most of the carnage, though. You can see wings flying in the wind. All right, folks. Well, let's reset here. Back to the front of the field. Edwin Villarino, James Hauser, Chris Herrera. James trying to make contact there once again with Edwin. Chris leading the rest of the pack of Darwin and Pete, with Mike just barely hanging on, and it looks like they've kind of gapped themselves, for the moment at least, from Jonathan Dance back there in 7th. Let's see. We can't surmise what happened here in the beginning. We're checking in with Jonathan Dockery. There in the green, 47. I believe that's Lindell, and then Jack just got into him. Somebody else was off. It looks like Justin K off the track, making his way around. So the field kind of checked up there. I think that's how we ended up getting most of our separation. Yeah, and you can see here, this is the 940 of Phil Ericalian. I apologize if I'm messing that name up, but that looks to be the most of it. Although now I'm getting reports we've got Bill Groombridge, potentially Scott Dorkins, and Jason Bice involved. That is Bill Groombridge on the inside, or on the outside there, touching wheels. Hopefully that's no worse for the wear. And a little further back, though, Jason Bice, Scott Dorkins. Scott Dorkins looking inside, collecting Jason Bice. Jason loses quite a few pieces of his Skip Barber Formula 2000 there, unfortunately. So that's not looking great. But other than that, let's see, Barry Stockdale. Looks like he may have gone around. Yeah, that was just getting loose, cold tires. And Peter Nodwell, who was up front, running up front toward the front there. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough on cold tires, making your way through there. Jeffrey Decker going off. I think this was in potential response to that. Yep, that was who we saw going to the outside. All right. And we'll take a look here, Ian, as you can hear.
I don't know who I hit somebody by accident, but I'm just going to dump it because I'm so far behind, it's just not fair to anybody else. So I'm going to jump out of the race, and I will jump into the broadcast booth.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Well, we are happy to have you. As we were talking, and I missed it, let's see if we, as Jason Bice leaves the pits, we're busy catching up on all the wrecks. I want to go back and see if we can't find Chris Pereira passing James for P1. And I don't know what happened to Edwin. Looks like James went way off. So he, by definition there, oh no, yeah, he just got really loose. He dropped a right rear into the grass there, which let him by. And I'm not 100% sure. What happened to Edwin potentially then? Because that seems, it looks like Edwin dropped quite a few positions. See if I can't get to the bottom of that. As we watch Pete Mo Broughton try to take the lead, and successfully so. Although Chris not giving up anything easy, as you would expect. I'm not 100% seeing. Does look like Carrington Wilmer was also off track. All right, here we go. I was able to find it. We're just going to cut away just real quickly here from the lead. This was Edwin Fiorino getting past. Toxic Racing. Yeah, just cut it wide. Okay. That was basically the same thing that happened to James. And they'll let everybody by. Edwin filing back in there with the rest of the field now, though. Chris Herrera is going to look to the outside going into turn 1. Whew.
Okay.
He's able to make it. Got you a little bit quiet.
Chris, are you there?
Yes, that's a little bit better. Oh, quiet again. LeBron looks into the inside once again. Chris is not going to give him any quarter, though. Here we go. Side-by-side racing for you. Now, this is, I think, a product, really, of the points update. So, for, X amount of laps, you're going to be earning points if you lead a lot of laps, is basically how it works out. It's not 1 point per lap led, but there is a advantage in the overall standings to leading as many laps as possible as you can. And I think that's why we're going to see a lot more close, tight racing up front, with people trying to make sure that they're out front once they cross that start-finish line, especially. And you can see that on display here as the field is kind of that's starting to tighten back up again. We've got P1 through 6 now, all bunched up, and Jonathan Dance only 1.1 seconds back from that group. And then there's a little bit more of a gap, but as you can see, Pete going wide now around. He's trying it. We're right on board with Chris here. And you can see there's not much you can do. There's no DRS, there's no, Yeah, he's just going to slide in behind his teammate James and think better of it for the time being as James kind of locks it up to avoid hitting Pete. And they're going to see if they can't reel Pete back in. We'll add a couple more names there to the list. We've also got some really great racing going on further back in the field, and I'd like to make sure we get a chance to check that out too. Here you can see the 350 of Thomas Photos, the 901 of Aaron Law going side by side with Don Parks firmly behind them, checking out the action. Looks like Sean Trediak there as well, kind of chilling out in the back, seeing how this is going to turn out. Let's ride on board with Sean, who's got the front row view to this battle. So this is going to be... Oh, my battle box is freaking out. But basically, Aaron right now is in P11, and Sean is in P14. So this is P11 through P14 right now. And some great tight racing. And the same can be said even further back. Holy cow, I mean, you look back here, really with, that's Justin K ahead of Jeff Torbeck in the 42. I mean, this is a pretty constant string of skippies leading all the way back. There's Bill Groombridge, Steve Dewar, Oliver Harley, Adam Wright, Andrew Cole, Joshua Dancy. I mean, really from... There's Adam Wright, P20 on back. Oh, who is that just went? Oh my goodness. Somebody just, that was Andrew Cole, made a unplanned pit stop. Let's see if we can't ride on board with Andrew Cole. As you can see, Oliver Hartley and Adam Wright ahead of him, trying to cut it down. Oliver and him just touch wheels, and he's able to save it on the pit road. Did he catch any damage? No, but that's gonna cost Cold. No, I need to fix Andrew's name here now too. But oh boy, not what he wanted, I'm sure. All right, well, James Hauser has taken the lead from Pete and Chris in tow, as well as Darwin, Edwin, and Mike. Well, now, yeah, if you look back here, Jonathan Dance is caught all the way up. So hard to gap the field, really. It's gonna be great racing up here. A little further back, there's the 00 of Walter Collada. Ruben Ray, though, right on his tail by a half second. That's gonna be a gap that Ruben's gonna be able to make up, I'm sure. And I just wonder if they're gonna be able to work together. They've got about 5.5 seconds now, though, to catch up with that lead pack. JR Hoops kind of just running out there by himself at the moment. P10, though, very, very strong showing for JR. I'm sure he'd be happy with that. Up 5 spots in total. And then you got to look all the way back here for Aaron Law, Thomas Fotos, Don Parks, and Sean Trediak. Aaron Law up 12 spots, Thomas Fotos up 9, Don Parks up 7, Sean Trediak up 10 in total as they go side by side into turn 1. And 2x2. Great racing here. We'll look on Don Park's front wing, which seems to still be attached, which is good. They're going to be going up the hill now, up to the twisty bits. Don making the move on the inside. But can't quite get there for the moment. Whew. There they go. Looks like Chris Herrera's taken over the second position from Pete Mobron. The team running on empty now, 1-2. Control the race, control the pace, and potentially the pit stop strategy, which, as we've seen in the past broadcast, if trends continue, will be somewhere opening up around the 18-minute mark of the race and closing right around the 22-minute mark of the race, give or take. And we'll check in here with the leaders, Chris and James. Actually kind of doing battle a little bit. I'm surprised to see that. Oh, and who's that made contact? Looks like Jonathan Dance. Nothing showed up there, but that's going to put no, that was Mike Bowers. It's going to put Mike Bowers back with Edwin Villarino. Looks like maybe Edwin and Mike made contact, so that's going to put those guys in a hole. As you can see, Walter and Ruben back there just a little bit further. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's hide that for the moment. Some really great racing here. This is for P13. Going side by side, Aaron Law, Don Parks, Jeff Torbeck. You see Sean Trediak there just ahead. We're focused on Aaron Law there in P13. Don Parks just behind him. Followed by Jeff Torbeck and Bill Groombridge. And you can see Steve Dewar kind of hanging out in the back just there. A little further back here, David Michael Sorrow and Daniel Pagowski. This is for P31. Daniel Pagowski up 11 spots for the evening so far. Great showing for him. I'm sure he'll be super happy with that. And a little further up from them, just so you can see there the couple turns, you've got Jake Ashe, Sam Bridges. Don Parks is in the pits. I don't know if that was planned or what happened. Looks like it may have been planned. We'll check back up here with the leaders. Don Parks and Jonathan Dance. Look here. Yeah, no. I think they're just trying to undercut, so we'll see. Don Parks, Jonathan Dance. They can pull that off. So if you remember, that's Adequate Racing. They are a team, so they may have planned that out. That's the very beginning of the pit window there. So curious to see how that works out for them. And we are having some technical difficulties with Ian. We're trying to get him back. A little distracted there, sorry. And everybody's starting to make their pit stops here. Pete, Chris, James, Mike, Walter, looks like are making their way in. Darwin and Edwin Villarino remain out on the track. So now the game is afoot, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Pit strategy will start coming into play. And we will see once Edwin and Darwin, they remain, and well, actually in Ruben too, he's a little further back, but really Edwin and Darwin, where they are able to pit out relative to the other leaders. That is going to say a lot.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll start listening in with the drivers here. As they start to coordinate their pit stops. And I will bring up for everybody's... Oh, it looks like Carter Stickney and Jonathan Dockery may have come together. See if we can tell what may have happened there. Just a small track. Looks like Jonathan there got in the inside of Carter and came to a stop. So it doesn't look too bad. Obviously, they're going to lose some time based off of that, but looking like hopefully the damage was minimal. All right, so keep your eyes on the leaders there. They're going around one more time. Opted not to pit that lap. Although it does look like Ruben Ray and Bill Groombridge have decided enough is enough, and they are going in. So let's take a look now at where our team running on empty.
Go ahead, James.
That is James Hauser, and you can see he's right behind Chris Herrera there. So that's where they are. We'll keep an eye. It's not that much of a gap up to Edwin and Darwin, and I told you I was going to bring up the pit lap number here so you could all see. So the top 4 have not pit at the moment, as well as P6 and 8 through 10. So that's kind of the strategy that we're looking at right now. And we'll look in here with Edwin and Darwin on the front stretch, and Edwin will come in. No, never mind. They're going again. Run it back one more time. he's leading some laps. He's looking for those bonus points. I think normally where you'd see Edwin play the fuel strategy game, you're seeing a different, more aggressive style based on the point structure. A little further back here, Jeff Torbeck and Sean Trediak working their way up to the start-finish line. Looking ahead there at James and Aaron and Chris. Steve Dewar watches on. Again, these drivers have yet to pit. It does look like Oliver Hartley, Thomas Photos, and JR Hoops have done their pit stop now. Reminder, if this is your first time watching, pit stop is required because the fuel is limited artificially for these races. So you are not going to make it on one full tank of fuel. All right, here we go again. Edwin and Darwin, P1, P2, have yet to pit. They're the last ones remaining. They got 25 seconds over Chris Herrera and James Hauser. What will they do? Around this corner. Stay out one more. Get those bonus points. There you can see Chris and James, so everybody's kind of spread out at the moment. It does look like Walter Collada is leading a train here. Ruben Ray, Jonathan Dance, Adam Wright, and Joshua Dancy. And that's going to be your P10 through P14.
I'm good.
Some of those drivers also have not pit. Looks like, there you go, Sean, Jeff, and Steve all in pit road now. So that just leaves Aaron Law, actually P1, P2, and Aaron Law.
Jeff, I expect you to be faster. If you got to run here, I'm going to let you through.
You can hear them coordinating there.
Yeah, copy that. Take the inside then. I'll take the outside and you can follow them behind.
Coordinating their passes to avoid conflict there. I thought that was just something interesting to listen into. And we've got action back here for P24. Kind of wondering what happened to Pete there. I don't know, maybe what usually happens when we see that and there's nothing obvious is a speeding penalty on pit road. I wonder if he got hit as he tries to take it 3 wide and start getting around traffic here. Team Full Fuel Strategy, his teammate Walter caught up in P7.
Jack, take out to Milano. Come on. You're not hitting this time. Camera down you.
Yeah, so good question there. They've got the general channel that's what we're listening into that all drivers can hear, but each driver typically, if they're on a team at least, will also be on a separate private channel. So they're working basically 2 radios at the same time while they're trying to race inches apart from each other at these speeds. So just something to note. It does look like Edwin and Darwin have pit, and they're going to come out right in front of Chris. So look, that paid off pretty well for Edwin. He was able to lead a few laps and work toward those bonus points, and also come back out in the top spot after that one slip up put him back a few spots early in the race. So there you go. It looks like everybody is pit, so we'll bring that down. And things have pretty much shaken out at this point. So let's roll through the field here. We've got Edwin Viorino in P1, Darwin Romero, followed by Chris Herrera. About 1.8 seconds back at the moment. James Hauser trying to work his way back up. Whew. And then a little further back, Mike Bowers. Jonathan Dance is carrying Walter Collada and Ruben Ray. Further back yet, JR Hoops in P9. So he's worked up one spot since the last time we checked in on him. And P10 currently belongs to Don Parks, who's got Jeff Torbeck and Jeffrey Decker, Aaron Law, and Sean Trediak hot on his trail. So no rest for the weary there. Bill Groombridge currently holding down P15. Steve Dewar up 16 spots. And I forgot to mention Jeff Torbeck up 18 spots. So both Jeff and Steve having fantastic races so far. And you can see Adam Wright up 10 spots himself, trying to get one more to make it 11. Behind them, we've got Pete Mobrotten, Carrington Wilmer, Luis Baboni, Jonathan Dockery, and I apologize to Luis. I keep messing up his last name. I will get it right one of these times. There's Oliver Harley and Peter Nodwell and Thomas Fotos going 3 wide down the front stretch. We'll focus in with these folks as they make it work. No. Okay, that's awesome. Wow, really nice move. Risky, but it worked. A little further back, Kent Kirkendall. Carter Stickney has Chris Stewart firmly in his rearview mirror. Robert Longatano, team moving chicane. We haven't got a chance to speak about him much. He is up 8 spots, though. That's good to see. Looks like he may have had a little run-in with somebody there. His rear wing's a little bit bent. A little further back, Andrew Cole. Scott Dorkins and Jack Moffitt is in P31 down 13 spots. Curious to see what happened there. Sammy Bridges, Jake Ashe, Daniel Pagowski, David Michael Sorrow, Phil Arekgillian. Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I apologize, Phil. I'll get it. I'm gonna write it down, and we'll be good to go next time. Phil's I think relatively new to the league here. Rich Butler, Joshua Dancy, and coming in now on our lap down cars, Barry Stockdale, Justin Kay, and they are all out. So Justin Kay, R. Scott Bell, Jason Bice, Lyndall McMurphy, Ian Worrell, Keith Lee, and Jerry Gruber all out. All right, so that's a rundown through the field as we approach. Oh, I'm sorry, we just passed 9 minutes left to go in the race. Edwin Viorino still leads. Darwin Romero, Chris Herrera in close contact. They are now gapped. James Hauser. Looking back a little bit here, some good racing going on with Walter Collada and Jonathan Dance. They've got, actually, let's ride on board with Ruben Ray a little further back. You can just kind of get a sense. I mean, these drivers, like I said, they're balancing radios. They're trying to maintain not only their racing lines and kind of what they've been practicing, but then you got to deal with the other drivers and how they affect what you want to do. And when you don't get to do what you want to do, how do you deal with that? And on top of that, you gotta, deal with the car limitations, the tires if they're cold, and not to mention try not to hit anybody. And it's a lot harder than it looks. And I think the vast majority of these drivers make it look much easier than it really is. And I have all the respect for them. for that. A lot of fun to watch. You can see right there, Jonathan Dance pulling off the inside move. Very good stuff. Here we go, riding on board with Jeff Torbeck. He's got Aaron Law and Don Parks up ahead of him, making their way. Oh, and actually, look at this. We've got Adam Wright trying to make it. Oh, he makes contact with Steve Dewar.
Sorry, man.
Steve Dewar's around.
Misjudged it.
There you go. There's the apology. Steve is out of contention. He's going to lose some spots there. Stuff happens though. Check back in. This is Aaron Law, Don Parks, side by side.
Thank you.
Making their way up through the duckbill. Aaron Law backs out, thinks better of it. See Sean Trediak there watching on with Jeff Torbeck in tow. All right, folks, we've got 6 minutes remaining in the race. Roughly 2 minute laps. A bit less than that, I suppose. Oops, let's look up here. Thomas Photos has got Jeffrey Decker, Peter Nodwell. I love these battles. This is making for some good racing throughout. This is for P20, folks. Look how aggressive and close these drivers are getting. They want every little last bit. I'm going to bring up the total gain. So that's positions gained or lost since the start of the race on the right there. And you can see, obviously, Carrington as we're seeing up 23 spots, but also some other really big movers and shakers. Jeff Torbeck, Sean Trediak, Aaron Law, Don Parks among them, Adam Wright, Chris Stewart. So, double-digit movers. Really good to see. And Thomas Ose is gonna make the pass for a second, but Peter gonna take it right back. He's got the inside line for a couple right-handers. Oh. Very good, very good. All right, let's check back up here. This is Aaron, Don, and Sean, and Jeff. As we approach the, past the 4 minute mark. And Jeff just trying to hang on to that pack ahead of them. Right on board with Sean Trediak here. All right. Well, here we go, folks. I want to see if I can't get the replay for this one. Here we go. This is the pass for P1. Just happened. Chris Herrera makes the inside move on Edwin. And he's going to make it stick as they go down in turn 1. So very good, very good. And the race is on. Chris, Edwin, Darwin, James now nearly 3 seconds back from this pack. So
Yeah, okay, Robert, I'm almost out of fuel.
Looks like Andrew Cole might be out of fuel here shortly. As we tick down the time, 2.5 minutes remain in the race. and
Go right, Scott. Go right, Robert.
Thank you.
I'm on like 1 liter.
this is going to be a race for the lead here. I do believe we're going to get one more lap in based on the lap times, unless something happens. I don't know if that was like the stamp pass. That was a good pass. I think it was a solid pass. I don't know if that was like the stamp though. We'll see if we can find one. Edwin's breaking the draft there a little bit. I'm not sure what that was all about. But he works his way back in. We'll look a little further back here. Walter Collada working on Jonathan Dance.
Taking you back in the street. Thank you.
Let's see, Carrington trying to get just a couple more positions out of the evening. All right, back up here with the leaders. And actually, Carter Stickney making some moves here, closing in fast on Chris Stewart. This is back here for P25. You can see Steve
Look inside, Pete.
Sands nose cone back there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is the leaders as they come up to the start-finish line. I do believe they're going to make it before the 40-minute mark, which would make this the white flag lap. As Edwin and, oh my, Edwin and Ruben go by. This is, Chris's work cut out for him. So,
I see you, Darwin.
advantage to Darwin and Edwin for the moment. However, you saw the effectiveness of that draft as you come around those last few turns.
Come on, James. Pass right.
James trying to get that draft off of the 903. See if he can't close that gap just a little bit. He's got it down to 2 seconds, so not bad, but I don't know if it's going to be enough with this being the last lap here as they work their way through the halfway point up into the twisty bits. Edwin taking the lead from Darwin. Darwin side by side with Chris. Chris trying to sneak his way back into P2, set himself up, but Darwin having none of it. Darwin says, you know what? What if I want to win? Edwin, though, looks like he's got a little bit of a gap going. A little bit of a gap. I don't know. Here we go. This is the last. This is it. After this, they're going to be, or they are full out right now. It's now or never. There's no draft. There's no draft. And it looks like Edwin may have gapped it just enough. We'll see if Darwin's got something for him. Coming up to the line. No, nothing. It'll be Edwin, Darwin, and Chris Herrera. James Hauser, Mike Bowers will come across the line. And then you can see in the distance here, Jonathan Dance and Walter Collada coming up. Whew, Walter beats him right at the line there. Ruben Ray a little further back. In P8, JR Hoops.
Likewise. How so?
Oh man, this is Aaron Law and Don Parks trying to come to the line. Oh, the buildings are in the way. Oh no. I'm sure that was a fantastic finish. I'm not sure what happened there though. Pete Brown in P14. Adam Wright comes in P15. I'm sorry, I missed Bill Groombridge there in P13, Sean Trediak in P12. I'm skipping over people. Luis in P16, Jonathan in P17, Carrington, P18, Peter Nodwell, and Oliver Hartley. Whew. All right, I'm gonna let the grid figure the rest of that out. So, or the overlay.
C1. Nice race, guys. Nice race.
And the carnage ensues. Everybody blowing off some steam after a heck of a race. Oh boy, yeah, that was some good racing.
Almost what happened on the last lap, man.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and mute those guys for now. Give them a little privacy in their time of grief. There's Jack Moffat coming in with a big one. All right, well, let's see if we've got anybody in the interview booth here. Nope, nobody so far. Everybody wants to stay pretty quiet. Well, I just want to say we'll wait just a couple minutes if there's anybody pops in for an interview, but that was a fantastic race. I've got really nothing for it. It looks like, I don't know what happened to Pete. I think that's probably my biggest question mark going in to the post race here. I imagine it was a speeding penalty of some kind, but I was not expecting to see that. I did not see any incidents pop up, although it's possible that I could have missed that. But it was a great race. Congratulations to Edwin Viorino on the win. Oh, I guess I promised you guys some results here. There we go. Congratulations to Edwin Viorino on the win. Darwin P2 and Chris Herrera rounds out your podium with P3. Strong showing. Was leading the race going into the last lap. Just that's tough competition up there, and just didn't have enough quite at the end. James Hauser coming in P4. Mike Bowers P5, and that'll be your top 5. So pretty good race overall, I'd say, and pretty clean. I think there was some, obviously there's some contact the stewards are gonna have to work out, but I didn't see anything too egregious that we saw. Some great racing all through the all through the field. I think that's what was great about this course is I didn't even know what to focus on. We had great racing up in the front. We were looking at good racing for 20th position and even further back. So that was a lot of fun. And obviously we had some folks out who are probably going to be a little frustrated going in to it. Thinking specifically of the Justin Kay, Scott Bell, Jason Bice, Lyndall McMurphy, Ian, of course. I think he obviously ended up having to peace out for the night, but overall, it looks like there's some folks who got some really positive results for the evening, and it was just a lot of fun to watch. So while we're talking here and looking at the grid, I will bring in Chris Herrera, who we were just talking about, and it was a fantastic race. Congratulations on the P3, and I kind of want to know, the fuel strategy, because of course we always love to talk fuel strategy with you. It looks like it actually, Edwin got out there and he was able to lead a few laps, and you came out right behind him. So I don't know how many bonus points exactly. I haven't done the math, but so I want to hear about that, and then just talk me through those last 2 laps as you were leading the race going into the end there.
Yeah, so actually I think I got P2 because Darwin was supposed to do a stop and go and he never did that. So I think he may have gotten P2.
Okay, all right. So, man, more drama for the evening. Fantastic.
Yeah, a little bit of drama because I purposely let Edwin pass me on the penultimate lap so that I could slingshot him on the final turn on the last lap. And Darwin foiled my plans by not pitting when he was supposed to. So I think he's going to get a talking to. But in terms of fuel strategy, as you mentioned, I was leading a few laps, and obviously it was impossible to pull away from Edwin, and he was purposely, staying in the draft, which was smart, and that was what I was doing towards the end. And I was talking with James at the end, and it looks like Edwin had a 4-second faster pit stop than we did, so he must have been doing some very good fuel saving. It's 4 seconds. That would have been the race right there.
Sure.
Yeah, luckily I was behind him for my fastest lap, and I think I got fastest lap overall. I got a 50.9, I believe. I'm looking at the results, and I got the highlighted one, so I think I got it, at least a point for that one.
Yes, yeah, that is
Yeah,
accurate. You're the only one who broke 151, as a matter of fact, from what I saw. So
yeah.
awesome.
So James and I both finished with a little more fuel than we needed, so we had a couple seconds right there. And for the most part, yeah, you saw I came out of the pits right behind Edwin and Darwin, and that was a little disappointing. I was hoping I had made up more time and could have ended up ahead of him by at least a second, so that he wouldn't have been able to draft off me. I think I had the pace today, but it was a good race, and Edwin obviously got the win, so he was the faster driver today. So congrats to him.
Awesome. Yeah, so that is interesting to know. With the penalty stop there. Do you happen to know, we weren't paying attention, and I don't see Pete in here, so a little off topic, but what happened to Pete Mulbrotten?
So I think he entered the pits a little too fast, had a 20 something second
Okay,
penalty for that.
that's what we were surmising, but weren't sure. Um, Awesome. Okay, well, so yeah, it was a good end of the race there. Overall finish for you. I got a feeling that the season so far has just been a little frustrating. It's like you've got the pace, you're there, you've been having some good results in the public races, and it just there's just always one little thing here or there that's just on the Sunday night races just not going quite right
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I mean, as always, it's nothing malicious. I'm sure Darwin just didn't realize he was supposed to pit. I know he wouldn't have done that on purpose.
Sure.
And, last week it was just an unfortunate touch with Edwin. But yeah, I was having some good public races this week and last week. This race in particular is the first time I had done this track, or not this race, this week. And it just clicked with me for some reason. I love this track. It's super fun. And I had some really good pace this week. I was hoping to get my first Sunday night Skippy win, but it didn't happen. So I'll settle for P2, which I'm really happy with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, certainly, again, we talked about it. Is that your teammate ended up P4, and I believe,
P3, actually.
right, exactly. There you go. So, you basically pulled off a nice Mercedes move today, getting two of the three podium spots, and as per the usual, and we'll see how that shakes out with the team standings. But I think you guys are obviously, showing strong for that. So, the
Yeah, and
constructor series is going well for
yeah,
you.
exactly. And I think they changed the point structure this season so that it's only a 1 point difference for each place, which means I think it's going to be a lot closer than before.
Absolutely, yeah, and those bonus points are gonna mean more. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I actually made a bold prediction going into race one that the winner will be decided by 7 or fewer points.
Yeah, I think I remember
So
seeing that in the broadcast last week.
there you go. Yeah, so we'll see if that comes true. But looking forward to now, where are we next week? Actually, I usually have that ready
I
to
have
go.
I have no idea.
It's pretty sure you're exhausted. Well, either way, Watkins Glen, I believe Watkins Glen.
Oh, okay, that sounds familiar, but I can't picture it. I'm
I
pretty sure
think
I've done it
that's
though.
right. I
Is
think
that one
that's
of
right.
the Miata like rookie races?
I don't know if it's one of the. You might be thinking of WeatherTech Laguna
Hmm.
Seca. I don't know if
Well,
Watkins Glen is one of them. But anyway, it's my
yeah, either
hometown
way, it'll be
track.
good time.
Yeah, yeah. My
Oh,
my
nice,
growing up
awesome.
hometown track. So I'm very familiar with it. It's also a very fast. I've never run in the Skippy, but it's also very fast. So I think it's gonna play right into your driving style. So looking forward to
All
see how that
right.
goes. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
congratulations again, and shout out to running on empty. Any other shout outs at the moment?
No, it's running on empty, keeps growing by the day or by the week, I think. So,
Awesome.
I got my family and my friends watching, so hello to them and thanks to you as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward. I see you haven't registered a charity quite yet, but I'm looking forward to the Winter
Yep, that's
Challenge.
on
And
my to-do
actually,
list.
awesome. Yeah, no, we got that coming up. I'm actually looking forward to being able to race with you. Well, at least
Yeah.
watch you from a distance and
No, I
and see
have
what
no
that's like.
experience with any of those cars, and
Awesome. All right.
I don't plan on doing any practice because I'm focusing on Skippy. So
There you go.
we'll see what
There you go.
happens.
Oh, it's Mo Sport. I'm getting feedback that it's Canadian Tire Motorsports Park first,
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Watkins
and
is
then
week 4. That's
Watkins
right.
Glen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yep, that's true. All right. So correction to that, Canadian Tire first, and then Watkins Glen.
Yep.
So, all right,
All right.
cool. Well, all right, man. We'll let you go. Have a great week, and we'll see you in Canada next week.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Yep. All right, outstanding. Well, let's bring in Jonathan Dockery, who had a lot of pace here this evening, and I think was involved in some incidents. I'm trying to pull those up right now. But Jonathan, how did you see the race tonight? Talk
Just
us
go
through it.
check lap one, turn one.
There's just one. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go.
Well, there was two. I don't know who got it. I think Lyndall sent me a message, but I'm not sure. But like, I knew we were too wide. It was going to be tight, so I stayed all the way down on the curve and was just going to go through turn one. And then I get sent around, so I look up the brakes, and luckily it was like a zero contact, so I end up last. I think I passed the most cars tonight. At one point, I know I was in 15th. But then pit stop cycled through, and I think I ended up 21st or something.
All right. Well, there you go. That's awesome, man. That's I mean, I'm sure you would have rather just not had to do that, but coming away with a P17 after being in the back, you got to hang your hat on that a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was really I was dreading this track because I've only been here once, but as the week went on, I got better, and I really thought I had a shot at the top 10. I think I qualified 13th, 14th, but once again, the crash guys decided not tonight.
Yeah, well, it's week 2, and your first 2 weeks have not been filled with luck, we'll put it that way. But
well, I mean, if you're considering records, 2 for 2 so far.
We'll have to talk to the admins about maybe getting some bonus points for that, but oh boy. Well, at any rate, how your feelings about Canadian Tire Motorsports Park?
Yeah, I think I was actually okay there last season, but I was really looking forward to this race because this is a great track. It's long, but it's twisty and windy, and you don't max out the speed in the Skippy here, so I was really looking forward to it. I qualified well. I think in practice I was in the top 10, so we're off to next week. We'll be set and go again. But it was a lot of fun.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well. And I know some of the drivers in the Discord weren't super excited about Motorsports Park, but I am. I know I am. So should be some good racing. And you guys always put on a good show. So.
Is that the one where you go past start line, there's a chicane, and at the end of that chicane, the pit's on the left and it empties out? It's got Napa Corner, Wall of Champions. Is that the right track?
I don't think it's on the left. There's a tight turn to the right before the start finish line, if I'm remembering correctly.
Thinking it was like a chicane thing there, and then it had one of those sections has a Napa billboard on the wall. Might be the wrong track. But I'm looking forward to it, and thank y'all for the broadcast.
Yeah,
I appreciate what y'all do.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck next week, and good finish, all things considered tonight. So,
I'm guessing at least I gave you all a show, maybe.
Exactly. Which
I passed a lot of goers.
Hate to be hate for that to be the standard, but yeah, we're happy for it. But anyway, man, we'll talk to you and look forward to racing you this week as we prepare for it.
Well, they say it comes in 3, so maybe next week I'll come from the back again. Who knows?
There you go. I'm looking forward to it, man. All right.
Later, guys.
We'll see you. All right. Okay, so sorry, we have some big news. Announcing this right now, because I got Adam Wright's name correct. I don't want to use Wright twice here. Finally, Adam Wright, generously, thank you so much, man. Donating second place in each of the Winter Challenge events will get $50, the charity that they are racing for, from him. So that is huge. That is awesome. I cannot thank you enough for that. This is the exact spirit that we're trying to get in, and I know that those charities are good causes. We've got a great list growing already, and a long way to go. That is so cool, man. That is awesome. So thank you, Jack and Adam, both getting into the spirit and really making this, starting to make this a huge event for what we're trying to do. Just go out there, have some fun, challenge ourselves in different cars, bring awareness to different charities and people who are struggling out there, and making sure that we can do what we can to maybe bring a little joy to their life. So that's fantastic. Thank you again, Adam. And I will add that. I will make sure to make those updates. I'm really excited for everybody else watching. Those will be broadcast not by me. We will make sure to get those links out. Apex Racing TV. You can Google them. They're on YouTube mainly. I believe they have a Twitch channel too if you're watching on Twitch. But Apex Racing TV, very large outfit, very professionally done. Much better than this, and you'll get to see your favorite drivers of the Sunday Night Skippy, including your favorite broadcaster, going out there and racing for the charity of their choice in 6 different track car combinations that we really don't race all that often. So it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully more people get in the given spirit. It's awesome. All right. Well, we've got one more in here. I think James probably working over with the admins and the stewards there, but James ended up P4, kind of watching the end of the race there. Just a couple seconds back, was able to gain just a little bit, but man, I could see you wanting to get to that lead pack there just a little bit and help your teammate out or yourself. But talk us through how the race went for you.
It went pretty well. We couple lessons learned. It pitted a little bit too early, so we got back out in traffic. That kind of split Chris and I. He ended up having a 1.5 second gap, and I just couldn't close it down. And then when Edwin came out, he was able to pull Pete up with him, and luckily, or sorry, not Pete, he was able to pull Chris up with him, and luckily Chris was able to stick with Edwin for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, that is always, the pit strategy thing is something that we add kind of arbitrarily. And I know and I don't want to, put anything out there that shouldn't be out there necessarily, but there's always been, how do we change the league and, make it more exciting and stuff like that. And there's been just very preliminary talks about even doing double at some races, but, it's all very, just throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what's sticks at the moment. But I don't know. I like it. I think it adds a little bit to it, but at the same time, I can see, you get it just a little bit wrong, and you're like, man, alive. We had it. We were right there. It's got to be a little frustrating.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's figuring it out. I think this season, I figured the JRT, which helps out a whole lot. I just need to figure out how to actually get it, working properly for me. I think Edwin was 3 or 4 seconds faster than me on his pit stop. Obviously, there's some fuel saving that he has there, and he's got that fuel down to a science. So we need to figure that piece out. I got to figure out a little bit of fuel saving, and then I think we'll be okay with it. It's just it's so hard. We thought we did that, the lead laps or leading so many laps, you get points that would push people a little bit. And I think that ultimately will work better as it goes on. It's just going to be working out strategy a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm liking the wrinkles. What I try to bring out in the broadcast is just how difficult racing these cars alone is difficult enough for most people, and then we're adding the public math, into the equation. So that makes it a lot of fun. But we enjoy watching it, and it was great seeing you. Chris was bringing up the point, potentially Darwin may have not served a penalty that he needed to, so you may actually just de facto bump it up to P3. But either way, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you at Motorsports next week.
We'll see you then. Thanks again for
Awesome.
the broadcast and everything.
Absolutely. All right, we got Mike Bowers in the booth as well. He's muted. I wonder if he was just doing that. So wasn't. Yeah, there we go. Mike Bowers. Yeah, hey Mike. P5, up 1 spot from your grid position. I think a pretty solid race overall. Talk us through what you saw.
Well, I owe a couple people some apologies. I think I squeezed Jason a little bit at the beginning, and then later in the race, when I think Darwin and Edwin were playing a few games trying to drop Jonathan and I didn't think Jonathan was going to pass, so I squeezed him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys saw that, but it was an interesting race. But the gamesmanship up front, I haven't been there in a while, so I wasn't used to it.
Yeah, it's a we add a few elements, and I hate to sound like a um, broken record to the people watching the broadcast, but you we were just talking about the fuel strategy, the pit strategy that we bring into it, just kind of arbitrarily, and the new point structure, and how that's interplaying with the how people are racing, and there's just, in addition to doing the race, you've got these mind games kind of going on at the same time, and it's just really fun as an observer, at least, to check it out and see what's going on. But I can't imagine yeah, it's probably pretty exhausting for you guys.
Well, I knew a little bit of that was going to happen, and I was ready for that. And all I wanted to do was, be in the lead group and drive along. And I could see what they were trying to do. Darwin and Edwin finally got together, and I knew it was going to happen. Is those guys were going to try to drop Jonathan and I, and then start wiggling forward. They were saving a lot of fuel, so I knew they were going to come out at the top of that group after the pit stop. And I don't know if they did or not. I couldn't really see. I got pretty busy. But it is fun to watch the league group kind of battle a little bit, and I wasn't really ready for that. We've been normally just kind of lining up and cruising, creating separation, and then a little bit of battle before pit stops, and then battle hard afterwards. So it was a little bit different to see that unfold, and I really wasn't prepared for that. The track in itself race is really difficult. I mean, it's super fun. It's one of my favorite race tracks, but it is difficult to race on and pass on. And I figured there'd be a little chaos, but I don't know what it looked like.
Yeah, it's a far cry from week one at Lime Rock Park, for sure. It's a nice long track. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. There was great racing throughout the field. You talking about the lead pack, but I mean, shoot, we were focused all the way back through, the teens, P20 and on. And there was some really good stuff happening throughout. So I don't know. From our perspective, it was a lot of fun, but it seems like some of the guys are ready to move on to next week. But
Well, next week's not going to be easy at Mosport either. That's a draft fest there, I'm sure. But
right, yeah.
this this whole thing is making me crazy because I had to add a fourth monitor so I can get all this data that these guys have been using to kick my butt. I finally hit the fuel number just right, so I had that going on, and then I end up not racing as good as I normally do. So it's an
Yeah.
interesting deal. It's hard to run with the big dogs.
Yeah, man alive. Yeah, this is great. This is great. We segued right into this. We were just talking with James about JRT. For those who are watching or not sure, that's Joe Real Timing. It's basically an overlay that gives you just like to the thousandth place data on your fuel and all this other the conditions of your car, and the weather conditions and this and that and the other thing, and there's a whole kind of math science to the fuel strategy that you're not seeing when you watch the race, but these drivers are going through that in their head and trying to either do it themselves or watch another monitor, or they in their VR they have another overlay that has all this information just like staring them in the face. Meanwhile, they're trying to race inches away from each other. So yeah, I got a lot of respect for you guys, trying to figure all that out, and it's no easy task.
Well, I'm trying to learn and I'll get better, but I don't know. It was fun. It added another element, but it's difficult. And I have a lot of admiration for the guys that pull it off all the time. I don't race that much, so I've got to get better at this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good, man. Well, you got the pace for sure. So, adding that little element to it, I'm yeah, very excited to see by the end of the season how that all works out.
Well, good job. Thanks for the broadcast, and I guess we'll catch you in Canada.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, eh?
Hey.
That's the only Canadian I know. I know we've got some Canadian viewers and drivers. So I'll let them school me on the cool Canadian things to say. So all right, man. Well, have a great night, and we will see you next week at Mosports.
All right. Good night.
Good night. All right. Well, that's all the drivers we have waiting in the queue. And I just want to say thanks. And just another reminder, if anybody out there, we like interviews from the whole field. So this isn't just like we're picking people. This is a broadcast for the league and by the league. And, I'd love to be able to chat and get perspectives throughout the top runners, the middle pack, and even the back pack, and just kind of see what you saw through it. And we try to cover that during the race as well. So if you're listening, please jump in after the race to the interview standby booth, and we'd be happy to talk to you. Other than that, I think Ian's gone. He had some technical difficulties for the night, so we unfortunately don't get access to his big brain analysis of what went on, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend to to know too much more about other than what we already talked about. Other than to say thanks for watching. I'm going to leave the stream up for a little bit. As everybody knows, YouTube, if you don't have it open and watch it and replay it, it's going to come off the air, and you got to wait until my computer's done processing it, which could be a while. So I'll leave the stream up for a little bit to let those folks catch up if you haven't got a chance to do that. Thank you for watching and participating. It really means a lot, and I'm looking forward to next week. I think the other thing that we'll continue to foot stomp the Winter Challenge. Come check it out. We're very excited about it. I don't know if you could tell. We put a lot of work into it, and we're just super excited. I'm excited because I actually get to race again, and I think it's going to be a really good time for everybody, and hope that y'all get a chance to check that out, get in the given spirit, and do some good for our fellow human beings. That's what it's all about. So, all right, and we will see everybody next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be with you at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and that's all I got. Y'all take care of each other. Have a great night.